Welcome to the YouTube channel. My name is Raymond. I'm a local realtor here in the state of Maryland, and I want to touch on a quick topic that is very important to the housing market and the real estate industry, right? So what is going on right now is there's a bill being proposed by the Democrats, which is trying to stop the housing market crisis, or at least bring down the prices to be affordable to everybody. That is the goal, but you have different opinions, varying opinions, and so we're going to discuss that, right? I'll read out of the Business Insider. It says, some streets aren't for Wall Street. As the housing affordability crisis drags on, lawmakers are seeking to kick big investors out of the housing market. Two bills proposed by Democrats in Congress this week aim to curb home ownership by big investors in an attempt to improve buying conditions for Americans, the New York Times reported. All right, so you got two bills, and we're going to touch on what they're saying they want these bills to do. All right, but according to MetLife Investment Management, it says 40% of rental homes may be owned by institutional investors by 2030. So that is like 6 years away. In 6 years, they're saying 40% of homes are not going to be available to people who want to buy homes. You know, younger people coming out of college looking to get their first home, getting married, trying to start a family. That may not be available to you. And the big uproar is, I saw the senator and he was saying pretty much that the housing market is one of the last places where people can kind of build wealth, because if you own a home over time, it appreciates in value. You can then do a reverse mortgage, you can sell it and then live off the money that it had appreciated by. But they say now Wall Street is trying to take that from the ordinary American. Another angle that they're taking, the Democrats are taking, is housing being owned by these big investors is just now going to make it harder and just going to drive prices up. So if they own everything, the fewer houses that are available for sale will be priced high, because supply and demand. If the supply is down and the demand is up, the prices are going to go up. And also, they will have a monopoly on the rental market. So for those that are not even looking to buy but looking to rent, you know, So if you're getting any value from this video, make sure you like and subscribe. It would help the channel grow. The algorithm is telling me that over 90% of those watching are not subscribed. So please make sure you subscribe. Thank you very much. Homes, single family homes, may not be available for, let's say, a landlord just trying to rent and make a little income. That's not going to be a possibility, because these corporations are going to manipulate the price. If they have a monopoly on the housing market, they can dictate the price of rent. And you know, with inflation up, interest rate up, it's coming down now slowly. And hopefully this year, 2024, they say it's going to drop some more. But the biggest thing that has kept the housing market from crashing, as we know, is the inventory levels, right? There's not enough homes for people to buy. And that is the argument on the other side of the aisle, saying the inventory levels has really prevented a housing market crash. Or if you want prices to come down, you just build more houses, is what another person was saying. You just build more houses and don't, they say these democratic cities that are ran by the Democratic government locally, what they tend to do, people go and have these HOAs and these organizations go to their local council and put laws in place to where construction can't happen in the neighborhood. To kind of keep it a certain way. Some may say they're trying to keep it historic, trying to maintain the neighborhood. Others are saying this now forces builders to not be able to construct in that area. So if you need more houses, you build more, is what they're saying. At the end of the day, America hasn't been fully occupied. There's a lot of free land, but people in some areas are unable to build because of certain local regulations. So there's two ways to look at it, but let's continue reading this article from Business Insider. It says in the Senate, the End Hedge Fund Control of American Homes Act of 2023 would force big investors to sell off all the single family homes they own over a period of 10 years, and eventually ban hedge funds from owning any single family homes entirely. That is very steep and harsh. Couple ways to look at it. They saying, those that are opposed to this bill are saying this is not a free market. In essence, it kills capitalism, right? Capitalism is you got a business, you run your business well, and let the market decide. Free market, So those that are opposed to this bill are saying it's almost now closer to socialism or communism, where the government now wants to regulate what and where business can do and how it can do its job. On the other side of the aisle, they're saying it's a matter of ethics and taking care of the people, because there was a lawmaker here, I think this was Tennessee, they interviewed one of the lawmakers there, and he said it's almost impossible for people to, let's say there's a home on sale on this street and I want to go buy the home, and the home is going for 300 grand. Let's just say 300 grand. I come and I put in 300 grand. A hedge fund comes in and offers the seller 325,000. I may not be able to compete with a hedge fund because, mind you, some of these hedge funds own trillions of dollars in investment capital, right? Or just assets. So there's no way the average American can compete financially with these companies. So it destroys fair market in essence. It destroys the essence of capitalism. Mind you, even though it's capitalism, in America, there have been laws against monopoly going way back, right? When a company gets too big and controls an industry, the government comes in and breaks it apart because it's anti-monopoly. When there's no competition, it destroys free trade in essence. That's what the other side of the aisle is saying. It says the housing in our neighborhoods should be homes for people, not profit centers of Wall Street. Co-author of the bill, Senator Jeff Merkley, Democrat of Oregon, said in a press release. Let me see if I can pull up the press release. Says Representative Smith and Senator Merkley lead action to ban hedge fund ownership of residential housing December 5th, 2023. Representative Adam Smith, Democrat, Washington, and Senator Jeff Merkley, Democrat, Oregon, teamed up to introduce End Hedge Fund Control of American Homes Act of 2023. The legislation responds directly and forcefully to persistent and growing problem, the purchasing of single-family homes by hedge funds, especially in the current housing market. This has made it difficult for middle-class Americans to become homeowners and is contributing to America's twin crisis of housing unaffordability and wealth inequality. So, in essence, the hedge funds just keep getting more money. They buy the homes, they grow in assets, they grow in equity, and the gap between the rich and the poor just continues to widen, is what it's saying. It says in 1971, my father was able to buy the house I grew up in for $15,000 on the salary he earned as a baggage handler at SeaTac Airport. This is what the senator is saying. The same house would cost nearly $500,000 today, yet wages for workers like my father have not kept up. Too many families in the Puget Sound region and across the country are struggling to afford to rent or buy a home. This crisis has been exacerbated in recent years by an increasing number of large investors purchasing a significant percent of single-family homes, squeezing out prospective buyers, said Senator or Representative Adam Smith. He's a representative in the House of Representatives. Congress must take action to crack down on corporate greed and hedge funds out of the single-family home market. The bill I'm introducing today with my colleagues would ban these problematic hedge fund and the single-family housing market and claw back some of the homes that they've already owned so that more American families have a fair shot at becoming homeowners. So in essence, they're trying to change the supply and demand thing. So if they kick these guys out, then there's more supply, and then the more supply there is, the prices come down, right? But that also can cause a market crash in essence. If prices come down, those that own houses can lose equity in the houses they already own. So there's a two-way sword. There's always two perspectives. And we're just here to give you the information and you make a decision. The housing in our neighborhoods should be homes for people, not profit centers. I think I read that. So following the 2028 housing crisis, large private equity firms and hedge funds bought substantial portfolios of foreclosed homes as an investment opportunity. opportunity. The federal government enabled this growth through bulk sales of federal-backed mortgages and foreclosed properties. This decision excluded ordinary families and mission-driven nonprofits from buying these homes and returning them to families in need of stable housing. So it's saying in 2008 is where the government, so it's amazing the government kind of let this happen. Now the government is trying to step in to change the law. Well, that has always been the case. There may be laws at one point that they saw as beneficial. Later on, somebody sees it as discriminatory or oppressive. So that's what's going on here. In 2008, when we had the recession, all those foreclosed homes were kind of sold to these large investment companies, but it's saying it didn't allow, it excluded ordinary people from buying these foreclosed properties, you know, and nonprofits from buying them. And it says in 2011, no single entity owned over 1,000 single family rental units. Wow, no single family owned over 1,000 rental units. As of June 2022, the Urban Institute estimates that large hedge funds and other institutional investors owned roughly 574,000 single family homes. That is crazy. Is it good business or is it greed? That's just the question for you to decide. So the hedge funds, they saw an opportunity to make money and then they went all in. 574,000 homes from 2011 to 2022 in an 11-year span almost. They went hundreds of thousands, 500,000 plus. So it's really crazy. And when they own that, they just kind of control the market. They control the pricing. And they saying, as I read, 40% of these homes in America would not be available to you and me, the ordinary person. So it says the End Hedge Fund Control of American Homes Act seeks to put an end to this harmful practice of hedge funds buying up single-family homes by banning hedge funds from owning these type of homes and requiring them to sell. We read that at least 10% of total number of single-family homes they currently own to families per year over a 10-year period. So 10%, 10%, 10%. In 10 years, they should have sold 100% of these homes and get them out of the single family market. I don't know how I feel about that. I definitely see how it drives the cost of housing up. I definitely see that and how it can be unfair. What I do have a problem with is the government trying to regulate the market. You know, that I don't know about that. Because let's say you are somebody, you buy one house, you open a corporation, you're not a hedge fund, you buy one house, another one, and then your portfolio grows over time to this amount. Hypothetically speaking, you, a single individual, end up owning 574,000 homes just because you invested properly. The government can come in and say, sell everything. It's done that before, as I said, with monopoly. When one company owned a certain industry, they came and they broke that company up. That has happened over and over. So in essence, this might be down that same vein. It's just a slippery slope. In addition to Smith, the bill is also co-sponsored by U.S. Representatives Nikema Williams, Democrat, Georgia, 5th District, and Linda Sanchez, Democrat, California, in addition to Merkley. This bill is also co-sponsored by U.S. Senator Tina Smith, Democrat of Minnesota. Without access to housing, nothing else in your life works. Not your job, your health, your education, your family, said Senator Smith. So anyway, we got the gist of it. You guys let me know what you think. We got one from the Business Insider, just some sources. Another one from MetLife Investment Management, and then final source here. This is actually a press release from Representative Adam Smith, 9th District. I guess this is his website. Yes, it's a .house.gov, so this is coming from his government website, and it's a press release that they gave out just stating what they intend to do with this act. And it goes on. Maybe I'll link down in the description below where these articles came from so you can review them and let me know what you think. Is it good for the government to break up the monopoly or the looming monopoly? Because monopoly is like when you control 80-70% of an industry. They're saying in 2030, these hedge funds are going to control 40% of this industry of housing markets, real estate, however you want to look at it, right? So 40% from 2022 to 2011, they've already gone up 574,000 homes. So from 2024 to 2030, in 6 more years, they'll own a total of 40% of the industry. How much longer is it going to take for them to own 100% or 70-80% of the housing market? And now the government is trying to break it up. Well, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. All right, guys, welcome. This is 2024. Let's talk about the interest rates really quickly because last week, they may not just be able to afford that. All right. Well, stay tuned, stay posted, and hopefully we have a good year this year. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you found it informative. My contact information is in the description below. Send me a text or an email because I'd love to help you with your real estate needs.